Hey folks, Sean here, Max Fire Training, home of the Max Firebox. We're getting ready tonight to do our Max Firebox Phase 2 burn. Max Firebox, made in the USA, engineered to last, named after my son Max. And I'm really excited tonight because we have a special guest right here, Mr. Cass from South Africa. So Cass, do you want to introduce yourself to the world?
Well, I'm Cass from South Africa originally, but actually then I ended up in California and now I'm in Tampa, Florida. So I'm the youngest American on the block and I'm really privileged to be with Sean tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We appreciate you tuning in, checking us out. Our tagline is burn and learn, bring fire behavior, thermal imaging definitions to life with the Max Firebox. Max Firebox, made in USA, engineered to last, named after my son Max, and it's time to burn and learn. We also have Mr. Brendan McKee with us tonight. Brendan's going to be covering the Bullard thermal imaging camera. We have a FLIR thermal imaging camera, a Draeger, but wait, there's more. We even have a Seek thermal imaging camera. So that's the whole idea of the Max Firebox, burn and learn, bring fire behavior, thermal imaging definitions to life. So thank you all for joining us. We're going to get burning with the Max Firebox.
Let's go.
Our first thing is let's kind of talk about this real quick. We have our fuel load in here in the garage. Fire's going to start in the garage. We can do a one-story burn, and what I'm talking about one-story is this roof interchanges to the first floor. You can do a one-story burn, or like tonight, we're doing a two-story burn. Multi-chamber, multi-rooms, what we can do is we can close off them fuel cells, and we can close doors on the back side. So a lot of educational value here, fire behavior and thermal imaging. Right now, the breezeway, there's a door here for the breezeway. That breezeway door is closed. The importance of closing doors, closed doors, closed doors. For the firefighters out there that are watching, we want to keep in mind that we can kill more fire by controlling the oxygen than we ever can with water. When you pull up on that scene, I want you saying is, where's the intake, where's the fire breathing from, and where's the exhaust? We want to look at how can we shut down what's taking place there. By simply closing doors can make a significant difference for us when we're going to that fire. So we're going to come up, two pieces of carpet. One piece of carpet has moisture on it, one piece does not. We have our little firefighter there. We have a little firefighter in this room. We have some shredded documents in that room also. Over in this room, we have our firefighter. He's at that door. We're going to be focusing on that as we go through this burn. So Cass, come on up. Let's take a look at this. And we're going to take a look at everything taking place. We're going to come up and we're just going to get this fire going. We're going to get the fire started. It's going to take a long time to get this fire started, all right? So it's going to take a really long time to get it going, but what we want to talk about is how every 18 degrees, the energy of the fire is going to double. So that's one of the things that we want to talk about. It's not every minute, it's not every 30 seconds, it's every 18 degrees, the energy of the fire is going to double. So we're getting this burning, we'll get it going. We know that the first stage of fire is what? Ignition. So the fire is simply going to start, the fire is going to ignite. So we got the ignition phase of the fire. Also, what we want to talk about is how this is a snowball on top of the mountain, and it's going to start to come down the mountain. When that snowball is on top of the mountain, it's going to be real easy to stop that snowball. When that snowball starts to come down, it's going to get harder and harder to stop. The first stage of fire is the ignition phase. From the ignition phase, where do we go? We go to the growth phase. From the growth phase, what's going to happen? The fire is going to flash over. So we'll be seeing that flash over here tonight. We'll be covering that and talking about it. So already you can see we're holding our propane torch in here for a long period of time. Oxygen, fuel, heat, chemical chain reaction. All them different definitions that we had to memorize to pass a state test, get off of probation. That's what we're looking at right now. So we're letting this thing get going. We're letting it get burning. So already, Cass, what I like to focus on right now is that detached gas phase. I always like to talk about that as far as that detached gas phase. And then also how long I had to hold my propane torch in there. To where down the road, once we get this going, I don't have to hold my propane torch in there. I ignite the
From us. So by increasing the humidity level inside the structure by using fog, we start controlling the atmosphere. if we can raise the humidity level from 30% above, the fire is going to go lazy.
And it's going to make, so
It
it's
makes entry safer,
much safer.
much safer.
Yeah, and
So you want to control the gases above your head, what you call in the overhead. If you've got control over the gases in the overhead and you can cool it down, you will prevent flash over backdraft.
and just like we talked about controlling the oxygen side of it.
Right.
You know, the importance of that. And there we go. From what? Opening the garage door.
Sean, do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
So close that. Okay, and just pre-cool for me, yeah? Just pre-cool there.
Okay. Just from this window?
Just
here.
Just that. Okay. Now open that.
Open here?
Yep. Open here. Delayed.
Yes, absolutely.
Why?
Now,
I increase the humidity.
absolutely. And that's why we always talk about reach of the stream.
Right.
You know, and
So-
making sure that it's safe for us to push forward.
So guys, doesn't matter where the fire is. If I pre-cool gases wherever it's going, it's not going to flash on you.
Absolutely. Reach of the stream.
Yeah.
Cool where you're at, cool where
and
you're
look
going.
how long it's actually holding
Now,
it. So
now
then-
one of the things though I want to focus on here is let's talk about this, okay? And the thermal camera will be a good judge of this. Let's come over here. Cass, come on over. Doug, can you get this on video? Come on over here. Okay. Give it to me right in this garage area.
Right in the garage.
Yeah, and what I want to show here is the importance of the thermal camera, all right? So what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of moisture in here. See where that moisture is going on the camera? All right, see how we're killing that? But as soon as I stop, what's gonna happen? See how that's starting to come back on the camera? So that's the whole thing that we want you to also do, is use this camera to paint the room. Make sure that you're just not putting a small amount of moisture in there to kill it. A small amount, you know, we're just kind of playing with the stream here, but you didn't kill any of the heat. Can you see that on the camera?
Yep.
So they didn't kill any of the heat in here. So what's gonna happen eventually, we keep this open long enough, it's going to ignite because there's a ton of heat in there. And then also visually, you can see how turbulent the smoke is, that you can tell something bad is getting ready to happen in this area. And there it is. You know, there's that ignition. Why? Because we didn't kill the heat enough on the thermal camera. Visually, we killed the fire, but like Cass was talking earlier, we got to kill the heat. So we got to kill the fast traveling convection currents.
So Sean,
Yes, sir.
just to add on what you said, when you were putting the fog into the room,
Yes, sir.
when I was cooling the gases, you saw the immediate effect, right? When
Yes,
you
sir.
were putting the fog into the room, very slow reaction. The amount of the heat release rate of the wood is exceeding the amount of coolant that you're putting onto the fire, and you put it in a fog. If you put it at entry point into a fog, you're putting more air into that. I'm on a stream. I'm a bit far, but I start cooling the base. Okay, I'm just cooling the base. The stream there. I'm starting to flow water, and I'm starting to counteract the heat release rate. Can you see what I'm doing?
It shows, and it probably shows on the camera also, doesn't it, Brendan?
I'm countering the heat release rate. And now, the mistake that they make with fog, they flow it and they bloody will stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Okay, I'm overcoming the heat release rate even by a small amount of water. Now if I go up, I'm cooling the gases. Okay, then I'm cooling the gases, but then I'll work the bottom again. Then I'm working the bottom. See, it flashes again because I'm cooling. If you see on a thermal camera, I'm cooling this area. I'm not overcoming the heat release rate in that area there. So if I start cooling that area there, I'm overcoming the fire. I'm overcoming the fire because I'm countering the amount of energy that, look, I'll kill it.
And it shows on the camera.
I'll kill it.
I mean, it
Because-
really shows on the camera.
Right.
How you're killing
Because
the heat.
and I'm on a solid stream right now, and I'm penetrating the substrate. I'm actually putting wet stuff on red stuff. I'm not at this point in time cooling gases, okay, like we were doing there. So if you come in on the entry point, you want to control the overhead, make it safe for you to get to this point that you can actually do this stuff. Okay. if you don't cool the gases by entering, it'll flash over your head. You'll be caught in a flashover because you cannot do this from that location.
Which is exactly
So
what we showed.
the deeper the penetration into the structure, the more hazardous it is for the fire, because there's a hell of a time delay for you entering that point to this point. You might stumble, you might get lost to this point, and if you're not controlling the overhead, you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
But there. So by using high pressure fog on a stream on the base of the fire, okay, you can actually overcome the energy, the heat release rate, but you've got to continuously apply. So if we leave it, there it goes.
It's going to ignite.
There it goes.
It's going to come back. And we were watching that on the camera. You could see
Right,
that.
right. But if I kept on applying water like on a normal hose stream, I'll overcome it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it just goes back to that reach of the stream.
Right.
Cool where you're at, cool where you're going.
Do not
Make it safe. I showed you, have you seen different aspects of this as far as the value for the burn and learn?
The technique that you're showing, the device that enables us to show the technique. I mean, it's so valuable, right? To teach the fire behavior in a sensible way so that everybody can grasp it and understand it. But just what you're showing in terms of gas cooling, flow path control, the velocity of the smoke, all of that in a very easy to grasp way. It's huge. So excellent job.